Well, welcome to another episode of Let the Truth Be Told. My name is Sean Williams, and I thank God for being on the program once again. Man, a lot of people said we need to come with some content, some different content, some new content. We got a lot going on. I got my right-hand man with me, a.k.a. Brother Hub, Elder Hub, Coach Hub, Herbert Burnett. Thank you for being in the studio with us once again, man. We down at Hub Shop, and I thank the Lord for everybody that come down here, patronize my man, and shop with him, buy the masks, buy the T-shirts, buy the clothes.
Thank you.
Hey, man, we appreciate it because a lot of our direction that we've been doing, a lot of stuff, man, been going right back to the community.
Amen.
And that's what we do. We bring it right back to the community, man, and we circulate them dollars right back. And so that's the most powerful thing about shopping within your community. Most powerful thing about keeping your money within like-minded folks that care about you like you care about you.
Amen.
And that's what the power of shopping with your boys. That's what the power of shopping with your boys do. It come right back to you, man, in one way or another. So I thank the Lord for having another program. Thank the Lord for you, and you.
And you.
Yeah, and you that always say, man, bro, man, I watch your program.
Yeah.
Man, keep up the good work. You know, it almost get me teary-eyed when folks come up to me because appreciation, just being appreciative what we're trying to do.
Yes.
You know, not saying that you need that or this or that or this or that, but it's always good when somebody cheer you on, man.
Yeah.
Cheer you on.
Anybody who say they don't need no affirmation at all, or they don't need to know they're doing a good job at no point in time, they need to cast the lion demon. We need to cast that lion demon out because we human.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we human.
Yeah. All humans need that, man. And so, hey, we got a lot going on in the community. We're going to have a great show. I mean, stick with us. You can run some of your comments down here on our Facebook Live and what we got going on, virtual service, whatever you want to call it. I thank the Lord. We're still in a pandemic. We're still in a pandemic, but God's been taking us through. And he's been leading us and guiding us every step of the way through this pandemic, man. The chaos, the friction, the confusion, the uncertainty.
Yeah.
He's been taking us through every step of the way. So I thank God for just coming in the midst during a pandemic, man, and being able to create vision. So we take somebody somewhere.
Yes.
So we can take somebody somewhere, man, because it ain't just about us going.
Yes.
It's about taking the people that's wrapped up around you somewhere. Somewhere. You got to take them somewhere, man.
Take them somewhere.
And so as we see the community, we don't really have a topic today because we got so much going on. But you know what, Brother Hub? What I say? The wilderness is crying out for a voice. Who gonna be that voice? You know, we got the Black Lives Matter out here, kicking and screaming, marching. You know, and so I seen one of the guys post something earlier that said that we done had all this gun violence going on, and where is the marching at in our own neighborhood? We got so much going on across the board. We got to be strategic in our moves, and we got to be intentional. You know, Brother Hub, you jump on chime.
I totally agree with that. I think the major problem is economics. Romance without finance is a nuisance. And when you ain't got nothing, you ain't got access to nothing, it's hard to be normal. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you think normal is hard, man, when you ain't got nothing. And so people are frustrated. But we're taking a different approach. We have decided to equip adults and a lot of young people with financial literacy. And one of the most powerful things that I found out in the last 2 to 4 weeks, that you got parents, you got other community leaders, adults that's working with children that don't even believe in it themselves. So how can I expect them to encourage the kids when they finances jacked up, or their finances might not be jacked up, but they don't believe in financial literacy? How do you expect them to get kids to buy in when they don't even believe? It's a really frustrating thing, and so. But we've taken a different approach to it. We have decided to wake people up. We're not financial advisors, right? But we've decided to wake people up and do what we need to do. Now, this is a live TV show in my shop. I didn't lock my door because I got rent to pay. So if I get up and go sell a mask, don't think it's ghetto or anything. This is real life. This is reality TV.
We're in a pandemic.
We're in a pandemic, and folks are dying on our watch, and we're gonna talk about that. At this time, I'm gonna shift it to Sean, and I'm gonna go sell a mask, and I'll be right back.
So I'm gonna give you a backdrop while he step away to take care of the customer. I'm gonna give you a backdrop. So I'll give you a backdrop of what's going on. And so during this pandemic, I learned about the stock market. Me and my brother Hub, I came down. I said, Brother Hub, hey, Brother Hub, remember your mic. So, okay, and so I come down to Brother Hub's shop. Hey, man, look what you're doing. He say, man, I'm on my Robinhood app. I say, look, what is Robinhood? Because I'm old school. I'm like a lot of us. We're old school. I don't know nothing about that. I'm not an app guy. I'm not a, download every app. But I never bought anything that the crowd was on, right? So I'm not an app guy with the newest, latest apps. So what is that app? He said, man, it's called Robinhood. Download this. I downloaded it. Got all my banking stuff hooked up to it. Spent about $100. Made about $350 in a couple of days. I say, man, there's something on to this. Pandemic happened, and then I started doing more research. I started doing every webinar, YouTube video I could do. I found out that this was a great resource to spread to the community, and so I started trying to figure out how can I utilize this as an opportunity to spread to the community. Fast forwarding, I shared with Brother Hub that a lot of us are financially impoverished in education of knowing about the financial resources, right? So we don't know the information, and so we're not trying to learn the information. We've been so miseducated about it, and we've been pretty much we have already have certain views, certain opinions, certain phobias about it, right? You're gonna lose your money. Man, that's too much. You're not educated enough. You're not going. It ain't a good benefit. And so what I've learned a lot of stuff is about generational wealth, and so what we did is we hooked up. Brother Hub has a non-for-profit called Not On My Watch. We've been teaching it to the kids. So we got kids that we've been working with. If you got kids out there, inbox me, Sean Williams on Facebook, call my phone. You can always get through me through Williams Memorial Services, one of my businesses. You can always call that phone and I'll get your message. But you can always reach out to me. My brother Hub, he owns Suits by Soldier down here in Bradley. You can always stop in with him and get your kids hooked up. And we want to deal with like-minded, coachable folks. So I'm not only teaching adults out at Hessel Park on Thursday nights at 6 o'clock, or we're doing a Facebook Live because of our COVID cases stepped up, and so we've been doing it virtual. So you can do it we do it on Zoom and we do it on Facebook. So we're not only doing it for adults, we're also doing it for kids. So we just coming off a pretty hyped up moment.
Hyped up
moment, man, because we had a class that was today with the kids over at his dad's church, and we probably had maybe right around 10 kids, and both boys and girls. I would say between the age groups of probably about 12, 13 till about 15, 16 years old. Really inspired. I mean, these kids are bright kids, you know, and me. So I've never been a teacher. I had teachers talk about me, but I've never been a teacher. And so I'm trying to teach it as best knowledge that I have, but I think I got a unique approach.
The reason your approach is more powerful than probably 50% of the teachers who teach African American males and females. Yours is better than theirs is because you meet them where they live at. And unfortunately, a lot of teachers aren't able to meet them where they live at. And so I cut it off because we didn't want to tape the whole thing, but I cut it off today just a minute too early because you dropped such a golden nugget. It was so powerful. And the reason I knew it was powerful because I was watching the kids and how engaged they were. But one of the reasons that we're so excited because we had a young African-American 15-year-old that we put $100,000 in his virtual account for him to trade with 10 days ago. And he walked in the class today 15 minutes early, bright, and then a light bulb shining, walked in shining, and just was excited about sharing with us that he had over $800,000.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Over 800,000. 800% plus increase. 700%. I mean, we gave him 100K, he had 800K. And I told Sean, man, we got another group and ran two, and then we got another group. But I said, man, if nobody else gets this understanding of this man, we've been successful because he got it.
Oh yeah, man, and so I'm excited because the kid's excited, you know, because of the fact that I understand. I've been to enough. I probably have spent hundreds of thousands of hours of volunteer hours in the community, being after meeting after meeting after meeting for everybody to say, what's wrong with the community? Well, there's a whole lot of stuff wrong with the community. But one of the main things is that we don't know the information. How can you be successful at Monopoly? You never read the rules. You don't know the rules, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes.
You're gonna make a lot of mistakes.
If you're trying to play chess with an experienced chess player, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes and you're gonna lose. And that's what we've been doing in life. Nobody's taught us the realities and the realness and the rules of life, so we're constantly making mistake after mistake. One of the things that
check this out real quick, because I'm student teaching right now, and one of the things that my leadership told us the first is, look, it's never been a pandemic. We're going to make some mistakes, but just try to be as sharp as you can, but don't get down when you make a mistake, because we never done this before. And so that alludes to what you were
trial and error.
Yeah.
Everything's trial and error. But I understand, so one of the things that I was explaining to the kids, and I explained to you, the viewing audience, is that one of the things that you have to do is separate yourself, right? We learn it in church. We learn different concepts through churches, but not everybody. I tried to make some of our church folks the other day when I had a conversation with one of the trustees, is that everybody's not in church. So you can't keep on trying to put a church analogy on everybody, because everybody's not in that space. So now under this pandemic, we got to understand how we got to use our mic better, how we got to use our spaces better, right? So that our people can win in the wilderness, because our folks been dying right now. Been dying because we have not been using our spaces right, and we got to learn how to separate ourselves, right? So you can't move the way the crowd move. Everybody moving when the crowd move. Champagne right now, we all hurt because a tragedy happened in the community, but we moving the way the crowd move. So what I explained to the kids, it's called being a crash dummy and a victim, because now you responding only when the crowd say respond. I remember taking off one day. I remember being at the Decatur Fest, and a fight broke out over by the fairgrounds. And all I seen was a wave of people running. And my girl actually took off too. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of here. I see the crowd moving. But what I did was slid to the side. Because you'll get trampled by the stampede of the crowd. And so what I had to do was step back and analyze the situation. My military kicked all the way in. I gotta analyze the situation. I gotta see where the threat at. So I can proactively adjust to what's going on. And so we just running because the crowd running. But you ain't got it.
You ain't got that salute, size, activity, location, unit, time, equipment. You got to have that salute, man.
You might follow the crowd, and the crowd run you right into the threat.
Sure.
And that's what happens 90% of the time. We are following the crowd, and the crowd don't know nothing.
Right.
The crowd don't know nothing. You know, I'm gonna drop a bomb on you. I'm gonna drop a bomb on you. We call our group is called Wall Street Jewelers. Okay, and the reason why I came up with Wall Street Jewelers is because we pulling jewels out the market. We pulling the most precious jewels out the market to be able to make a profit.
That's good.
That's the reason why I came up with that name, Wall Street Jewelers. Because adults, young folks, we pulling jewels out the market so we can shine. We gonna shine because we making a profit.
That 15-year-old pulled 700,000 jewels
out the market
in 10 days.
Out the market. out the market. But you know, so somebody said, man, we need to march. We need to march. We need to march. We need to march, right? And so, Brother Hub, one of the things about marching, because even right now, so we had tragedy happen. We had tragedy happen in our community. We had a young man that got killed here last Saturday on Bloomington Road. So let's get that backdrop. Big shouts out to that family. Our prayers go with you. He had his funeral on today. You stopped by there at the funeral, right? Then young lady, Jasmine, got killed here the other night. Big shouts out to the Jenkins family, close family friends. I grew up with them. Charlene, Jeffrey, that brother Jerome. I grew up with him. R.I.P. to him. Little Vince, Sanchez. All of those guys came to my barbershop. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I'm like a big brother to them. You know, whatever the case might be. But you know, being around those guys. But 6 months ago, they lost Tanisha.
Which was her first cousin.
Which was her first cousin, Patricia Avery's nieces, right? And so we've been dealing with this dark cloud over our community, right? So our response back to this stuff be like, man, we gotta, first of all, it's a couple things we gonna go on that about response. Our response is back. Our response is back. But a lot of times during a lot of these movements, because we didn't have Black Lives Matter happening, so I'm kind of getting you a backdrop of what the atmosphere is that we've been dealing with. Black Lives Matter movements, all of this stuff, George Floyd then died, so everybody trying to make their moves in so many different strategic ways, you know, and people just shouting here and shouting there. But I want to give you a backdrop of why some of that stuff don't work, right? I was doing some research, going over some stuff, and the reason why some of this don't work. So T.I. and them came out after George Floyd died and said, man, we boycotting. Boycott these people, man. Boycott these people. We boycotting white businesses. We ain't shopping. They don't get our money. Blah, 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 blah. Even when Gucci had did something, and then Gucci supported something, and then they said, man, we ain't supporting Gucci. Y'all stop buying Gucci. I'm going to show you why that don't work, okay? So it's a thing called E&O insurance, okay? E&O insurance. E&O insurance protects companies and professionals from claims or inadequate from claims that work with negligent actions, okay? So the word negligent actions is key, okay? So let's say we stop shopping with Gucci. We ain't buying none of that. We stop shopping with them. They take a loss. Now what happens is that the stock market moves off emotions. Okay, it moves off emotions, right? So now they responding back like, come like, oh man, so and so messed up, Black Lives Matter, blah 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 blah. They now say, man, we got to move our money because man, this stock price finna go down. So they move their money. The company Gucci ends up saying, now it's two things. You got to look under the underlying things, because most of the time when Gucci done made all this money that we done gave them already, they own more than one company. So we still gonna go buy this, we gonna buy that, we gonna buy that they also own. We just sticking toward, but T.I. got to stick it toward just Gucci because he don't know the information. So we following the wrong leader, okay? That's what I'm getting. So then we find out that we don't know the information that Gucci gonna now file a claim because they losing money because of negligent actions. So now they get their money, the shares are back on the stock market, they buy all the loose shares. So now when they go, it's called a buyback, a share buyback. They buy back the shares. Now when they buy back the shares, their stock price automatically shoot up. So the boycott didn't do a benefit because now they made more money than they ever made before. And we had never did nothing. See, a lot of times the messenger, man, don't know the information and have not did the research. I sit down with these kids and I tell them, I say, man, you got to do your own research. Stop following somebody and following the crowd like a crash dummy. We got to find out why are we marching? What's the looting all about? I'm gonna go break a window for what? What's the end result? What's my end game? We all at the police department the other day. Well, some of the folks at the police department the other day, they done graffitied it up. They put Keywan name all out there and this and that and this and that and this and that. But what's the end game? Like the man said, man, when you get ready to dial 911, Ghostbusters ain't the one that's gonna show up. The law enforcement gonna show up. Now we need you. One of the things the city match, I'm gonna let you roll. One of the things Steve Carter said that was very vital our ex-city manager when I was in his office, advocating for Chief Cobb to be chief. He said, man, Sean, I hate when a joker busts me out in public and apologize to me in private. So many times in our community, we do that. Bust each other out in public and apologize in private. You sit up there, graffiti my house. Write all on my thing. Call the chief a coon. All of this and this and that. And then when I'm in distress, 911, what's your call? Hey man, I'm over there. Oh Jesus Christ. Now because you cussed me out, I gotta sit up and say, man, do I throw my burger to the side? Or do I rush over here, or do I eat my burger and then I go check and see what the distress is?
And you're paid to throw your burger to the side.
I understand that.
But that's not reality.
I feel a certain type of way.
That's what you paid to do.
Yeah, I feel
that's
a
the
certain
professional answer is to throw your burger to the side, but that's not reality. You know, I'm listening to everything you're saying, and I had something that really hit me. I'm heavy on leadership. You know, fast forward to back in Keywan, when Keywan got killed, and I saw that it was gross leadership, you know, and I hadn't been here but a couple of months, so, you know, but I was laying back like you. I was doing salute, I was sizing, activity, location, unit, time, equipment, and I said, it's leadership. And so 10 years later, it's still leadership. And I'm not talking about a leader, I'm talking about leadership. And so one of the examples that I came across about a week and a half ago is a major general. You got
be my little general.
Yeah, brigadier general, major general, lieutenant general, you know, general and general of the Army. So we talking about a 2-star. But under that 2-star major general, you got a brigadier general, right? Who's usually the XO.
That's for the B.
Yeah. And then you got a full-bird colonel under the 1-star general, who's the brigade commander. You know, that brigade is a couple of maybe 1,200 soldiers. And then you got a lieutenant colonel who's the battalion commander, right? And a few battalions make up brigade. Then you got the major, who's probably XO. Then you got the captain, who's the company commander. He got the first sergeant. He got 4 sergeant, first class platoon. But you got all these people between the 2-star general and the private. You got about 10 echelons. So the young lady got killed, Vanessa Gillian got killed in Fort Hood. The alleged killer killed himself, right? So that was about a month and a half ago. So 2 weeks ago, this 2-star general was supposed to leave Fort Hood and go to Fort Bliss and be the commander over 1st Armored Division, which is very prestigious. He probably been waiting on this all his life. You know, been in the military 30 years, and now I'm about to be the commander of the 1st Armored Division. I mean, that's something.
Oh, yeah. I was in 3rd Armored Division.
Right, so you already know. And so, because this young lady who was 10 echelons down, he probably didn't even know she existed. Because he had sergeants and staff sergeants and sergeant first class and lieutenants and captains. He had them to police over that. He had to worry about that. He paying about $60,000, $70,000 a month to some leaders who's supposed to handle that. So he ain't really worried about that, right? But it stopped him. It stopped him from getting the lifetime job of his life. This man done gave 30, 25 awesome years, record clean. And because a soldier got killed 10 echelons below him, they said, we're gonna put you on hold until we investigate it. Because we need to know that was there any negligence on your leadership that caused this death. Now he at home, like, man, I can't believe this, man. what did I ain't nothing I could do to control that situation, right? That's why I got captains and lieutenants, and at the best, the lieutenant colonel, who's the battalion commander. You got to make sure that stuff happening. But you know what? Freeze your orders. And this a heavyweight. This is a 2-star general. Don't move until we finish this investigation. That's how vital leadership is. Now, this man was 10 echelons, and so we have to understand, we don't understand what leadership is, man. And that's my sore spot. And I'm not talking about no one individual. I'm talking about leadership and influencing. You've heard this story 100 times. Private Gamble got a DUI. My first sergeant called me at midnight. I'm laying in the bed with my wife. Hey, you need to go get Private Gamble out of jail right now, and you still need to make it a PT formation at 5:30, soldier. Why I got to go get Private Gamble? I don't even drink. Private Gamble, that's sergeant's soldier. I'm the platoon sergeant, his sergeant. No, you need to go get him. Because you responsible for everything that happens or fails to happen on this watch.
Right.
Every death that's happening right now, you got some Asian mother across the water looking at the death and wondering, do she want to send her daughter
Is this a good university?
to University of
Especially
Illinois?
at the yin yang.
And so until we can understand what leadership is and quitting putting our buddies in these positions that they're not capable because they don't have the relationships to deal with what's going on, ain't nothing gonna change.
You know, Brother Hub, I've listened to you, and I know you said it's a no-brainer when it comes down to home, when the home environment, people push it back on the home environment. But that's part of that auspice.
That's the first. That's the first general order.
And so that's part of that auspice. And I will be the first one to say, because I've spoken with this family, you know, of the young lady Jasmine. I know them folks very well. I've spoken with, you know, I've even felt it for my own. I deal with Miss Rashidi's mom. She was out in the park giving away dinners the other day. You know, part of her healing process of her son Rashidi being murdered. And so I understand that I deal with a lot of these people that have lost their kids. And to me, this is for me. Views, opinions of Sean Williams. I've looked at Facebook the other day and I seen a mama saying, you know, man, y'all give my gorgeous baby, man, give him a big old birthday shout out. Give him a big old birthday shout out. Ain't my baby beautiful? But he's 30 years old and you see him as a baby. See, what you looking at is that baby you was rocking like this. When them guys are growing up in my barbershop, they were little bitty guys. Hey, Sean, can I watch your TV? Can I watch your TV, Sean? I said, man, you can't just, he said, man, too many people watching the TV at my house, Sean. Man, can I just watch your TV? Man, go ahead and watch the TV. They never left my shop. Then they got to be grown men in my shop. Oh, now y'all following the crowd, bro. Y'all got y'all pistols, powder, pills, Patron. Oh no, buddy. You gotta move around. You gotta move around. See, I can't look at you the same like, yo, this my baby. No, you're a grown man, that's a problem now. Cause you ain't followed nan order. And that's what they gotta look at. Your baby is terrorizing the community, and you got to call it the way it is. Your baby is killing people's babies now, and if you don't start right there calling it, all these other entities will never make a difference because you ain't calling it the way it's supposed to be seen.
And let me go back to the home, because you know how I feel about the home. You know, everybody say it starts at home. That's 100% correct, right? But I'm not gonna say but. When you said the home and they got to do what that's what that general's saying. Why can't I leave? That sergeant is supposed to check his bed every night. Why can't I leave? That sergeant getting paid $3,000 to babysit them soldiers and make sure. But I'm the 2-star general. I'm way up here.
Let me tell you who that general is in that situation, because they deal with that family on a one-on-one basis. I'm gonna tell you who some of them generals is. That them generals are that uncle and that auntie. Them generals is the school district because they deal ultimately right there with that family household. They got it on record who's showing up to school. They got it on record who got problems going on in the household. They got it on record who got a mental issue. Now, because of the fact that they're frightened to be able to do some of their job because of lawsuits and confidentiality and stepping over the line and it ain't my problem and they dropping the ball.
Right.
Because they know the information. When we dealing with CU Fresh Start and some of these other stuff, it's been a long track record of these guys. From grade school to middle school to high school to now to the Department of Correction, they know we know exactly who this clown is. But you still saying my baby a good baby. Oh yeah, he probably was when he was 7. He's 17 with a pistol that they could put a piece of something on the back of it and turn it into an automatic weapon. That know how to do that. And he stay high, and you know it. So I'll put it right back there because we have to, man, my dad, what hurt me so bad, man, is I was in Decatur the other day doing some insurance. My dad called me, said, man, he said, Sean, man, where you at? I said, man, I'm in Decatur doing some insurance. He said, I'm down here at the Arab and I'm keeping it 100, Arab store. We call it Arab store, Arab. We call it Arab, good Arab store. Play him a number, man, and they just got the shooting down here. I said, Dad, you need to go ahead and get to the house. He said, well, the police down here now, they taping it all off. They taped off 2 churches. They taped off the 2 churches. That's how much they taped off, 2 churches. These guys have no consciousness of when they do this stuff. They don't care who around. But we be silent and not say nothing. And this family got to go and put 2s and fuse together now for a burial. And then this young baby, 9th grader, got to grow up with a lifetime of not even really knowing and have a relationship with her own mama. Somebody else got to step in. Then her mama never get to see her graduate.
You know, I
crazy, man.
I said it. And
if we don't feel that pain, man, I'm telling you.
I was on vacation, and Mississippi got killed Saturday night. And so I'm watching all the lives because we just in the hotel room just loving on each other. Shout out to Stephanie Burnett, celebrated my 56th birthday. And we went to Vegas and headed to California, but they closed the downtown Downs. We usually pray on my birthday and hand out gift cards. And so we had a lot of together time alone. But as I was watching the lives, it came to me, but of course I didn't put it on there that day, Jason. I waited a couple of days because respect for the family. But what came to me, Sean owning 51 Main and me hanging with him and knowing the opportunities he had when he owned that club to vibe with the age group who causing a lot of this trouble. So it came to me at the vigil. The vigil was everybody who hang out at 51 Main. So what came to me is the prayer vigil is the new 51 Main. So if you really want to reach these kids, if I was there, I would have went straight there and had prayer. Today was a funeral. I called my nephew out because he was good friends with this kid. He'd been on live all last night. I watched him on live, just tore up. And so I went to the funeral, even though we had the stock market class. I went there first, and I went in. I didn't see him. I started asking. They pointed him out. He's in his car listening to music. He wasn't even going in there. And when I walked up on the car, I heard they killed my homie. You know, whatever he was listening to, it had something to do with. But I pulled him out. I prayed with him. Everybody was looking like, man, he gonna pray with him? Yeah, he gonna pray with me, because I'm a problem solver. The problem is, oh man, that ain't my gift. No, that ain't for me, man. No, that just because you like that. No, man, you a hireling. You playing games. And so until we understand, let me tell you this, Sean, when you were talking, I didn't want to interrupt you, but you reminded me of my basketball program when I'm a head coach. Been a head coach for at least 10 years. When I call them 15 or 13, however many I keep, I understand that this kid has to be in bed by 9, this kid has to be in bed by 10, this kid has to be in bed by 11, this kid don't have no bedtime. He can have tattoos, his mom don't care if he's smoking a drink. So what's my point? I got 13 different standards. And if I try to get on their level and do it their way, I'm a be a schizophrenic. So effective immediately, young men, when you come in this gym, there's only one standard. And either you go by my standard or you hit the door. Now, my standard is here. If your parents' standard is above mine, that's good for you. But if your parents' standards is down here, you either step your game up or you're going to hit the door.
You know what, Brother Hub? So one of the problems, and I talked to the kids about that today in the stock market class, is about following the crowd, right? Because I've been watching this community for a long time. One of my greatest attributes is observation, okay? And so I've been knowing for a long time that that a lot of people in this town followers. So as soon as you start doing something, they want to duplicate what you're doing to see if they can do it a little bit better so they can get the shine. My whole purpose ain't to get no shine. My purpose is to help somebody so that we all can shine. So we started doing this financial literacy. Next thing you know, guys that know us start doing the same thing that we trying to do instead of sticking within your lane, because we all have our gift of a gift of teaching and stuff like that. You know, support. So even that fact, we got guys that went behind us in other realms of where we've been working at, trying to do the same thing we doing with the folks we doing it with.
But what do I call that?
You call it leadership. Okay, that's cool. It's leadership. But at the same time, we ain't been effective. We ain't been effective because your motives ain't pure. And some of the guys that's been working the programs is this. You like the program because now the folks that you're working with can look at you and say, hey, you did it. I'm not looking at it like that. I went through the trouble and the pain because I want God to be able to get the glory and for them to be able to get the information so that they get better. Let
me say on record, why what you just explained, the only reason it frustrates me, right? And I'm gonna give an example. I'm not gonna call the group out. So we set a group up with $100,000, right? We had a class. Our first initial group, we got out. We set them up with $100,000, right? But because the adults that are over their group don't understand what we're doing and they haven't bought into it, they just took it as a one-time deal, right? But now the kids came to us saying, "What? I got $100,000. What do I do with it?" Well, because I didn't tell the kids that, but because your leaders don't understand and haven't bought into what we really trying to teach you, they check the block for 1 week. They good. We got them. We used them for 2 hours to cover some training, and we good. We on to the next. But the kids is standing, wait a minute, you sold us that you was gonna teach us, you know, and so that's the only piece that frustrates me, because it's only one hub.
Right.
You understand me? It's only one hub.
Right.
And ain't nobody gonna do it like Hub.
You can't duplicate that.
No, sir.
You can't duplicate
Never.
that. You can't duplicate.
And so I don't worry about that part, but the part I do worry about is the adults gotta understand. And even if you don't understand, man, when the ship wrecked, Paul told the people, God told me, just hold on. Don't do nothing, just hold on. If you get a piece of the wood, you're gonna run right into your destiny. So you adults, if you don't understand, just get on.
Yeah.
It ain't about you or us, it's about the kids.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that upsets me. I'm not trying to sell, well, the kids is the community.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to sell the kids no pipe dream. I give you $100,000 and then I don't see you no more. What? It's gonna be gone.
So I'm gonna give you this analogy right here. I sat down, I understood, I sat at enough community meetings, man, understanding. We sitting up there talking about this, talking about that, we need to get the kids. When we doing stuff at churches, we doing stuff in different groups, we doing stuff all over the place, right? We doing stuff all over the place, right? And it's always the do-gooders at the event. We ain't even hitting our target audience. So cause they ain't gonna show up to that. So I didn't need a club.
Are you saying that even though they wasn't out at the mall, they showed up the next day for the courthouse event, because that was the Dog and Pony Show. That's not what you said.
No, they ain't show up to that. They ain't gonna show up to that.
Okay.
They got to go over there for all kind of other reasons.
Okay.
You need to show up court day with them if you want to see them over there. They ain't showing up for just the humbug, because y'all over there talking crazy. They don't, man, they care about like that, like a horse care about that, man. Now, dig, this I know in my mind, because I used to DJ, I did all that. I found out the power of the mic, what moved the crowd. Move the crowd. I need to find out what move the crowd. See, y'all don't. You scared to put people on your team that know what dope dealing look like, dope fiend look like, all this here. If you don't know what that look like, man, move out the way, because those are people we trying to reach. I know how to reach them. I sat in that atmosphere for too long. I deal with these people. Some of them people, my people, and I never shunned them. I always give them their respect in their area, because all of us got our gift in our area, okay? So I didn't need a club, Brother Hub. I can go anywhere. I don't need to party that much. But I knew, and I talked to city officials and city leaders, gave them the backdrop of why I'm trying to do this, because now I can get them to a space. Because I know they coming to listen to some amigos. They coming to listen to some amigos. They coming to listen to some of this little baby. So I got that little baby playing. Oh, now I threw honey out to him. Now when I get them to the space, at the end of the night, I can talk to him, or throughout the night I can, hey man, let me holler at you. Look, whoa, come here, let me holler at you. Now I can put something in his ear, build a relationship. Now, once pandemic happened, and I never get the support from leadership in the community, because now we can pass them all the information that we need, because we got them in the space. We could talk to them. Every night when I closed that, before I closed that spot, I said, hey man, my name's Sean Williams. Man, I'm the owner, but y'all the owner. This y'all space. This ain't my space. Take care of your space, and when you get back to your community, tell them people to put them guns down, and let's learn how to love on each other. Them young folks, man, they all been through this tragedy. They said, man, I sure thank you for saying that. Because what, that message before they hit the car, stick with them. Man, we can't be out here clowning, man. We can't, this our stuff. People understand ownership. You make them a part of it. That's what we teaching the kids, ownership. You be a part of this. Don't make them discluded. Too many people been discluded in the community. They feel that this ain't mine. Where do I fit in at? We've been excluding people.
No, that's good, man. That's
you
good.
want to empower. See, God don't give you power to run your power on people.
He gives you power to empower.
You got to empower people. We using our power to make slaves out of it with our power. Bring your money to me. Man, run and do this here. Tote my ice water for me. Go get my coat. Get my shoes. No, man. Wash some feet. You got to learn how to wash some feet.
That's one of the reasons that I love the youth. Because man, if I can get anywhere around them, it's home.
Man.
Ain't no gatekeeper. If I can move the gatekeepers out the way and get to the youth, it's home, man.
You know what was so,
it's home.
And one of the things when I was talking to the young people today, I told them, I said, because you overcome by your testimony, so you got to be willing to go through something. So when I told her that 8th grade teacher told me, man, Sean, you reading at a third grade level, and this, and and then once I found out, that, man, the power in me just moving to the front of the class when I got to be an adult.
Let me say this. I'm going through right now, man, because I'm a boss. But now I got to be a student teacher. I got to succumb to the system, right? And it ain't that I can't do it. Because I was in the military for 20 years, honorable discharge. Never did get I might have got a summarized Article 15, but never got an Article 15, never got none of that, right? So I know, but it's a mindset to sit there and be a student teacher, right? When in your mind, you want to own your own school. That's a big difference. That's from a 2-star general to a private. It's a whole lot of echelons. And I got to be disciplined enough to do it. So really what I got to do is make up in my mind that I want to play this game. Is this piece of paper that important to me? Yes, it is, because in order for me to have my own school, even though I could do what you say, you're a boss man, just hire you a superintendent, hire you a teacher. I could do it that way, but then I think that they got one up on me because they got the certification I don't got. Everything I want, they have, I want to have. But it's a thing. But I want to say this, man. I'm so happy to serve with you, man. Today was one of the best days of my life when that little young 15-year-old kid took $100,000 and made $800,000. So here's my thing to you parents and you teachers who say these kids can't learn. They can learn. The question is, what are you teaching? Because if they 4 years old and they know that rap song, Boo Boop is 2 years old and she know how to take pictures with that phone and she know how to do this. Bam Bam ain't even a year old and I see him doing like this because he mimicking his sister. What are you putting in them? What are you putting in them? Are you putting math, English, Spanish, algebra, social studies? What's the new thing out with the coding? With the coding and all that, I can't remember the thing is. But anyway, the science and technical is STEM. Are you putting STEM in it? They learning this at 2 and 3 years old. What are you putting in them? Are you teaching them how to shake their booty at 3? How is that going to work out for them? Put some substance in them, because they can learn. They're not dumb. They're not slow. It's what you putting in them. Hey. My daughter was 10 years old when she told me she wanted to be an attorney. She was 10, and I put everything, me and her mom and our village, put everything that she needed inside of her to accomplish that. And that's what she's doing right now, corporate attorney. What are you putting in your children? We got to have a paradigm shift. Turn that music off. Turn that TV off. Turn that game off. Get a book and put some substances to these kids. That's the way we're going to turn this situation around.
And because you've been allowing that baby to lay on that couch and be on a simulator of Grand Theft Auto, where he go grab a hooker and make some money off of the hooker, and then him and the hooker go to the bank, rob the bank, and did all that. And then when they start implementing that in real life, in real time, then we say, oh, the black community. But look at what you didn't let them download. This the spirit that they've been marinating for the last 10 years on the couch. And you buying every upgrade on the game. You letting them, you ignore the teachers that just try to push them through. Oh, they can't make it at Centennial. We'll send them to the holding tank at Novak. We'll send them to the holding tank over at Ready. We'll get them over here. They over at the juvenile detention center. We'll put them in the holding tank and then integrate them slowly back. But you still get that 12. You still getting that 12,000. Because it's all about the money.
Did you hear what Sean say? Y'all think it's just, the game is just downloading. But this stuff, this shooting and this killing and this murdering and this drug dealing is downloading into their spirit.
Anytime you can shoot somebody and shoot at somebody 45 times and ride off like nothing ever happened and go eat a meal, something wrong with you. You have a demonic spirit in you. A demonic spirit. And you know your kid got a demonic spirit in them. You rub them the wrong way and see what type of spirit jump off. Because they running around here with a big old pistol. I don't know where they getting that from. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother theory.
Paul Harvey don't even know that.
That's a whole nother theory of where they getting these pistols from, where they getting this high-powered ammunition from. That's blowing holes out of doors, blowing holes out of hoods. You know what it's gonna do to flesh. And nobody's speaking up about that type of stuff, but we over here clowning with a man at the barbershop. No, we need to be right up. Like I told my mom. I told my mom, I told my brothers and sisters, you can charge to my head but not to my heart. Don't let nobody kill me around here, much work I done put in. If them people don't get them, y'all keep on working on it. Now, I ain't gonna tell them the rest.
Keep the case open.
I ain't gonna tell you the rest. But man, I done put too much work in here for somebody that's jealous, envious, bitter, mad. Keep on thinking life then gave them the short end of the stick. Life gave me the short end of the stick, but I'm not complaining. You got to dust off and find out how I can get better. And if you need help, say you need help. And then when people say they need help, really generally try to go out and help them without trying to find some funding. Because 9 times out of 10, all they need is you to listen to them. Listen to them.
My peer, one of the coaches on our staff, has lost 2 of his childhood friends in the last 6 weeks, and he has a college degree, but he got PTSD and he don't even know it. And I'm watching, and I'm watching, and I'm watching. My nephew last night, I'm sitting there watching this live, and I'm crying and praying for him at the same time because he got PTSD and don't even know it.
Man, look at the mental trauma. I'm in the funeral home business. People that's coming back and forth. But look, I would take both those families that just lost loved ones. Just lost loved one. Mom died that night. Family on porch grieving over mom. Family going to just grieve. They done just lost loved ones in a car accident. Other family just tragically lost somebody. And then here they lose somebody over to a senseless murder. Who comes in and mentally repairs that? What type of anxieties are being built up? The traumatization behind one day you're here, the next day you're gone. They made a song about
and
that.
that's exactly what.
One day you're here, the next day you're gone. My favorite auntie was here. Now, I mean, I could cry right now because I'm looking at, I can cry right now, Hub, because I'm looking at my cold table downstairs at my funeral home and so many young people, man, that we getting clothes for to put on them, man. So many moms, I could see so many moms, right? I could see the whole Browns family right now, trying to wrap their rounds around their young man that I just buried. You know, I'm telling you, that mama that just don't know why. One way or another, why?
The guy said, man, the guy that just got killed Saturday, my nephew was his best friend. He said, man, he called me at 8 o'clock and wanted to go to the boat. Why didn't I go? But he said, I had my kids and I hadn't seen my kids in 2 weeks. He said, man, I should have just went, man. He said, because 2 hours later he was gone. Now here, a guy, he was live, and he said, man, I called him every day. We talked every day. Now you done called this man every day for the last 5, 6 years. Y'all done kicked it, and now he gone. And life just going on. And you ain't getting no treatment. Man, you know what I'm saying?
During all this, a pandemic season, virtual this, virtual that, we trying to figure out how school gonna start back. Young man said something so important through our virtual live, through the training with some young folks for Goal Getters. He said, man, I got, y'all trying to get me to do virtual school, but now I gotta watch my little brother and sister. They got virtual school. How I'm gonna be in virtual school and they in virtual school, so the adults don't even know what time it is. And if I wasn't doing well with a teacher in front of me, how well am I gonna do over virtual? And I got this to take care of, that to take care of. I got my bed right there, I can go to sleep. You know, what's the academic structure?
Yeah, the environment.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even figure it out. But the bottom line is the money. Because now the leader said, because of the political climate that we're in, y'all send them back to school and we're gonna stop that funding. That means your check short. Somebody check short instead of screaming to the top of your lungs. And if we all teachers gotta go march to Washington, D.C. and put the pressure down like Martin Luther King did, we gonna matter of fact, every teacher in the country, we gonna meet in D.C. on Whoop Wop Bop Day, and we gonna put the pressure down on Donald Trump. To say, no, we ain't. Everybody that lost a loved one, the hundreds of thousands of people that lost a loved one to the pandemic, we not taking this. We gonna march, we gonna get masked up, we marching, we gonna be there inside. When he look out that window of the Oval Office, every family member that's been affected gonna be in front of his
he ain't gonna be in the Oval Office if all them people, he gonna be in that bunker. He going to that bunker if all them people.
But that's the type of move you got to make.
I understand. I'm just being joking.
Them the type of
that mug gonna be in that bunker.
Them the type of moves you got to
Talking
make.
about is it close, clear?
Them the type of you got to, man. Drastic times calls for drastic measures.
Yeah.
You got to do something non-traditional.
Yeah, it's tough.
You know, when we dealing
tough.
with these kids, I mean, as we learn this information, we doing something that's never been seen before in Champaign-Urbana. Historical moves. Right?
Shout out, man, to
historical moves.
I'm sorry. Shout out to every single teacher under the sound of my voice, because I just completed my first week, and I'm watching the teachers. I'm in all these meetings, man, and like you stated earlier, people just take it for granted that the parents are cooperating.
Right.
And not all times the parents are cooperating, so that makes it even more on the teachers. And one of the things that my mentor teacher said to me, I was talking to a kid, and I was getting frustrated because he didn't have no want to. And I was trying to get him to want some want to. And my boss, my teacher mentor, said to me, sometimes you have to care more than the student. And man, that hit me like a ton of bricks. So I say to all teachers, I salute you with the hand salute, and just, I mean, it ain't never been done before.
You know,
it ain't never been done.
You know, Brother Hub, I do too. We need all officers. We need all officers. We need our teachers. You know, big shouts out to the superintendents of the schools. You got your hands full. I'm not saying you don't have your hands full. You know, I mean, it's hard to try to be a surrogate parent and be a teacher and all of those other things when folks are dropping the ball. But we got to start holding each one of us accountable in our areas of gifting so that we can work like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
But man, when everybody, you got missing links in the spokes. Your spokes missing links. The chain loose. You know, the sprocket broke. You know, the handlebars come off. The seat wiggling. The whole bike messed up. And so now you trying to sit up there and say, man, why you can't win the race? Well, man, my whole bike bogus. And that's what it is when you're dealing with your finished product of the kid. The whole kid bogus.
Yeah, it's tough.
The whole kid bogus, man. You know, and then you say, well, man, you need a mentor. I remember a girl come to the barbershop and she said, my kid doing great, man. He on honor roll, this, that, and other. Well, it ain't no due to you. Because I see you all the time. You're on Facebook Live, you're talking this, you're talking that, you're saying this, you're being really disrespectful to your young son. And you're putting a bad example out. Thank God for mentors.
I don't want to bash, but I don't get some of these people who get on Facebook and do what they do knowing that they got grown or teenage kids.
Bad examples, man. Putting the bad seed out, man. Just putting the bad seed.
It blows me. It blows me.
Putting the bad seed out. Man, Hub, it's funny how time fly when you're having fun.
Already?
It's funny how time fly when you're having fun. We had a whole lot of different stuff to cover, but I will cover it next time. Man, I thank God for you guys, man. I thank God for just your amount of consistency and commitment to watch the program, man. All my seniors out there, I appreciate you. I thank the Lord for you that you sit up and you encourage me to keep it going, Sean. All of my people that tune in, man, I appreciate it.
Eric Masks to Mixon Dixon.
He calls me and he give me an update and all the time. I appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All of the people that tune into us and that support us, I appreciate it, man. So thank you for watching another episode of Let the Truth Be Told. Peace.